Hello to you, my fellow lords and ladies of darkness. I'm very excited today. Do you know why? The title gives it away, but we're going to start your favorite mod, whose name I shall not mention, obviously. Oh, and by the way, get mesmerized? No. Normally the way that I make my videos is that I make a machine and I just tell you that I made it. I don't really go through every single recipe. But for this mod, since I am going to suffer through it, you're gonna suffer with me. We're even going to look at the JEI together. And nag. So if you guys remember the last few episodes, you might notice that for the Infinity 1 ingot, we have taken care of plastic, ignitium, isnium, awakened supremium. You might argue against awakened supremium, but we make that inside that machine. So if I want 100 of that, I can craft it really fast. It's almost ready. It's not ready because my patterns are wrong. Aha. Well, 91 of that was crafted. I should have selected tier 2. Now if I want 100, it should craft it. Surprisingly fast. And still we can craft, draconic core we can craft in the same machine, black iron we can craft, terra steel we have the seed. So the only thing remaining is neutronium ingot from a mod whose name I shall not mention. You are supposed to make the neutronium from this mod inside a machine called irradiator with platinum. If you put the platinum inside, nothing happens. That is because the irradiator transforms items and fluids with the power of radiative flux. And it does need to be placed inside the reactor wall. It's such an awesome mechanic, I really love that. Anyways, we are going to start with patterns. What is this? Oh, the mod whose name I shall not mention just got a lot more fun. We already have a machine whose name I shall not mention from a mod whose name I shall not mention, which will take sugarcane and give you plastic. I shall mention that it's manufactory. It's actually quite useful. Over at our machine area, I did mention that we are going to increase it by one more row, so let's do that. Then we are just going to cover it and move to a new location. Doesn't make sense to have all the machines in one room. I have made some patterns, I made an extra manufactory just in case, and I have made 2 assemblers. Since this mod is so amazing, it also takes a stack of upgrades. Just to fill in your inventory, that's it. It's such an amazing mechanic. But with all of that being said, let's see if we can make ourselves a fusion reactor controller. Seems we can. It took like 40 patterns. Oh, the machines are also very smart. I forgot to mention that. Yes. We're off to a lovely start. I have made myself some of the items that we're going to need in order to make a fission reactor. However, a fission reactor does require a fission reactor solid fuel cell so that we can put fuel in it. I was looking at the recipe and I realized it does require zirconium. How would you get zirconium in a mod whose name I shall not mention? And as usual, there's like 40 different zirconium. But yeah, you get it from diorite in a rock crusher. So if we are going to start setting up rock crushers, we might as well do all of them. Endstone gives us germanium, why not, diorite, deep slate. It gives us iodine. I just love the name. Ancient debris are going to give us titanium, but I don't think we should put it on a passive setup. Because ancient debris on its own has uses, netherite scrap has uses, and titanium has uses. So we make it when we need it. Gravel gives us silicon gem, which makes us silicon carbide, and it's different from the normal silicon, so we have to make it. Basalt, yes. Netherrack, probably not. Calcite, amethyst, andesite, purple. Obviously tough. Granite, and that's it. Out of every single block that I have mentioned over here, there is one of them that we don't produce, and that is endstone. Endstone does have a seed, so let's make it. It's a tier 4. Well, it does require a crafting core and a few pedestals. I didn't count. We go with 16. That could be more than 16. I don't know, 24? Again, this is one of those temporary setups that I have to move later on because we are going to automate it. For the moment, we're just gonna set it up over here. And funny enough, we're actually out of endstone in order to make endstone. But that is perfectly fine. There is a cheaty recipe. Yeah, you didn't need 24 of them, it's far less. Lovely. So this is also something that has to be done inside the botany pot, I suppose. Let's take another one. And until I get my mystical agriculture area set up, we're going to do it in our own base. Also, soul surge it, please. We do need quite a bit. For every single resource that I have mentioned, here's what we're going to do. At our request terminal, we're going to make sure that we always have a stockpile of 5,000 in our system. So 5,000 at batch sizes of 2,500. So that it doesn't have to constantly craft it. Wait, don't I have a request terminal? Yes. Everything seems to be set, however, we're not going to do this in the overworld. We are going to do that inside another dimension, and for that we're going to need quantum entangled singularities. It does not convert all. I just wanted to know the number, it's 2 every time. We have 10 quantum entangled singularities, so we should be fine for a while. So where are we going to set up our system? In there. This is an enhanced dimensional pocket from Dimensional Pockets 2. It's just a crafting recipe, it's like compact machines, and the first time that you want to go inside, your game might crash. But then I think it's fine. You just sneak and right click. And it's purple. Yes. This is such a neat mod. I wish it was also in 1.21. I was trying to find its center. This seems to be correct. And over here, we're going to have a fresh P2P tunnel. I have already configured the card. I am doing these things inside the pocket dimension just for lag purposes. Nothing special. But over here, let us have an ME extended interface because we have 11 items. This only has 9 slots if you go with the basic. Even though I have increased the number of channels that we can have on an applied energy 6 cable, we don't want to waste that many of them. So I do have this interface which is connected to our main network and is exporting one stack of each and every item, right? Now, we're going to have a storage bus, which is a quest. No, an achievement. Doesn't make a difference. And we are going to try and make a sub-network. This is so that our main network doesn't have to work that hard. Now our sub-network also has power. There are 11 resources, so we're going to have 11 rock crushers, and each one of them is going to receive an export bus. Since I have increased the number of channels by 4 times, we don't need a controller. So it's no longer limited by 8, it's limited by 32. So remember, we have this interface, the storage bus is reading the inventory, which is all of these items, and then we have an export bus, so we can just filter in the items. It's getting endstone. This one should get diorite, deep slate, and so on and so forth. At first I wanted to go with draconic energy crystals, but they do have a limit on how much power they can transfer, and this mod, whose name I shall not mention, is very power hungry. So we just go with universal cables. So everybody's crushing, which is lovely, and we're getting the garbage. So depending on the number of garbage, we're going to have different drawers. For example, this one gives us 2, so it gets 1 by 2, like so. I'll do the rest. Very cool, everything has been upgraded, I have 1 stack of energy upgrades and only 8 speed upgrades. We don't want it to go that crazy, it's a passive setup. I have also linked them to a drawer controller, and what we're going to do is that we're just going to have a storage bus and a cable. Obviously not up here, down there. So now our system should be able to read everything. For example, yeah, we have iridium dust. I just want to make sure if it's chunk loaded, it's a different mod. Yeah, it seems to be fine. So now what we should be able to do is to make our reactor cell. And that is our 20 solid fuel cells. If I need more, I will make more. Now, the other part are the coolants. We are going to go with inderium, and I think the other best one is cryotium. Why are you different? Cryotium requires cryotium, then the cryotium requires slurry ice, that requires ethanol and ice. Ice is just water, cool, and ethanol is water and sugar. That can be managed. So I have made a few extra machines. First off, I did make an extra rock crusher for ancient debris, so that we also get titanium. And if I'm not wrong, yeah, we have 500 titanium. You will always get 1. But I have also made 2 super coolants. One of them is making us ice. I have already tried it. We don't need 1000 buckets, 100 buckets should be more than enough, and it's working. Now, I have also made myself a melter, and I can't really wait to have more upgrades. Yes. What that melter is going to do is that it's just going to give us sugar. Can I make it? 100 buckets? Yeah. So ice is taken care of. Now we need to take care of ethanol. That should be the pattern for it. We get ethanol as well as carbon dioxide. Now the question is, what would you do with carbon dioxide? So carbon dioxide gives you carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. Yeah, let's not think about it that much. We are even going to remove it from the pattern just in case. I don't know, maybe it's used later on for something. And this would not be the main way of crafting it, it's just a byproduct. We will see. But now you should be able to make me, I don't know, 10 buckets of ethanol. Is that true? Yes? Oh yes, upgrades. Let's just fill in our inventory. But yeah, we got our ethanol, that's also nice. Another chemical reactor should take care of slurry ice. That is true. And finally, we convert it into cryotium using a supercooler. Which thankfully I made an extra one. So do we have cryotium? Lovely. How do you put it in? Oh, you need a fluid infuser. Sure. More machines. I just wanted to mention, even though I have spammed a few machines and a ton of patterns and we have a processing system inside a compact machine, we're still not generating power with a mod whose main function is to make you power. Oh, now we need a brand new thing. Thermoconducting alloy. Oops. Arsenic? Oh, we are getting it. Okay, good. The arsenic dust that we're getting has to be melted. Let's check that if we're getting it. Yep, that is perfect. And basically what we want to do is to make the boron arsenide gem, which comes from boron arsenide, which is a combination of that arsenic which we just got and boron, which also has to be melted. And then we mix it inside a chemical reactor, which we do have a few, not a big deal. Even though it is a crystal, what we are going to need is an ingot former. That's our ingot former, a bajillion upgrades. You export to the top. Here is your pattern, and make me some crystals. Thank you. You see, it's not that complicated at all. And for making the thermoconducting ingot, we need that boron arsenide, and we also need extreme ingots. Again, not a big deal. And therefore we can finally have our cooler. The cryotium cooler does require an infuser. So can I have 8 inderium coolers? Thank you. Finally. The cooling rate on the inderium heatsink is actually not that bad, and it also has a simple criteria. You just have to put it in a corner. As for the cryotium one, let's get 20. Maybe 30. Also, that has to be placed between 2 cell blocks. So simple criteria. I like that. We have done everything. We have the coolers. We have a bit more. So we can make the reactor, right? But we don't have fuel. Awesome. So I think we're just going to go with a simple LEU fuel. We just need the reactor to run. We don't want it to generate power. That requires uranium-238 and 5. Isn't there a better combination? No, then this one is going to be heavy. We want it to be light. So in order to make the fuel, obviously we are going to need an isotope separator, right? However, we do need to make a very small decision. So we can make it out of yellow cake. It's a bit disproportionate. Or we can go with uranium dust, which is less disproportionate. Yeah, we're just gonna go with uranium dust. Oh, I forgot the most important thing. Upgrades. So if we want some fuel, we should be able to make it. I think. Can you make me 10? Awesome. Is it radioactive? I'm not sure. Actually, because I'm not worthy enough, I'm just gonna disable radiation. Let's go assemble the reactor. Radiation is only for worthy people. I'm not one of them. So we're going to have a controller there. It will be within one chunk, but we don't want to go that crazy. This version of this mod whose name I shall not mention is a bit different than the previous version of the mod whose name I shall not mention. Meaning that you should fill in the corners. Ours has an internal space of 3 by 5, and it does say that the multi-block structure is complete. Oh, you can report the bug. In any case, we shall put our inderium coolants on the corners like so. I missed that one. I think we are going to have 2 rows of cells, and then we can cool it down like so, and have more cells. And you know, we can rinse and repeat. So this should be something valid. I don't know. We put the fuel in, and I think you still have to turn it on with a lever. No? Do you have to lever this one? Why? Why would you want to have a lever over there? Anywho, a few points. We need an energy trash can because we're not going to use that power. And we're also going to have a fuel reprocessor. If I break the controller and put it here, can I power it from the bottom? How would I know? It also apparently eats your fuel. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, bugs aside, we do have a few issues that we need to solve. So one of them is that in order to make the neutronium ingot, we need to have the irradiator inside the reactor wall. And as long as the reactor is running, this guy is going to craft a recipe, but it will take 2000 ticks. My main problem is that our reactor currently is actually eating through the fuel. We don't want it to go that fast, obviously. So what we need to do is to decrease the number of fuel cells. I think that should work. So that's a fuel cell, a coolant, a cell, a coolant, and one more cell. So now if we turn you on, you're not gonna explode, right? No. But it's burning everything incredibly slowly, which is good. So now, this mechanic is brand new. Also, I just made 1 stack of fuel and suddenly I'm getting all the quests. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, this mechanic is brand new, so bear with me. I could be wrong. This is not even the same mod. I'm just making fun. Otherwise, this one is actually way better. It's just that the concept is weird. But let's get some graphite. And we don't want the graphite block from extreme reactors, we want this one. We're going to put a graphite block on each side of the fuel cell. Then we're going to have another block next to the graphite block called Fission Reactor Irradiation Chamber. That's what's going to irradiate the irradiator. And the criteria is actually like that. Cell, moderator, the chamber. And obviously, the irradiator. When you get the particles, that means it's working. Let's get 5 more. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The rest I think we should be able to cover. We do have to use entangled blocks, I suppose, because there's no way of automating this, but yeah, everybody's working. If absolutely necessary, we can also have 1 row in the back, so we will have a total of 9. And remember, we can also make another reactor on the opposite side, but we will see. So first, let's turn it on. Heat is fine, efficiency, we don't really care about that, but it's good to know that we're above 100%. So the thing that you might notice is that it's very slow. I think it depends on the radiation. Maybe it's not that slow. Because one thing that I have discovered in this mod pack is that, yeah, we do have infinity. And there are 12 stages of it, and for each and every one of them, you're going to need 3 of the previous tier. So it's like neutral steel from Project Ozone, however there is a big difference. At exactly tier 9, there is a break. So yeah, up till Infinity 8, you're going to use Infinity 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. But from 9, you start fresh. So unlike Project Ozone, this is not going to be that expensive. But yeah, we have our Neutronium. Is there a quest for this? Oh, I need 1 stack. Okay. Anyways, I think that should be our stack and that should be the quest. And honestly speaking, that's not a bad rate, but even though it's not a bad rate, we do have some problems. So you cannot extract the depleted fuel from the reactor port. It doesn't go inside the fuel reprocessor, which is extremely weird because that's the whole point of having a port, right? And I have not slept in a very long time. Let's take a nap. Where's my bed? Yes. Oh, and by the way, Merry Christmas! It's a good thing that we have reminders even in a virtual universe. I think in order to solve this problem, what we're going to do is that we're going to use entangled blocks. I prefer this one to be the controller, and let us check if I can have the lever on it. I don't like looking at the lever, is the thing. No. I have to look at the lever. But at least I think we should be able to extract the waste to the reprocessor, yeah, from that entangled block. That is true. Let's also give you some power. This is a different version than all the mods, but do we have import-export buses? We do. Perfect. If that is the case, every single entangled block that we have over here is going to receive one of those, and each one is going to export platinum. Once you export something, everything else will be imported, so we will get the Neutronium. A bit of a time later and our reactor is now fully automated. I have entangled all the entangled blocks, every import and export bus is working, and we are getting Neutronium. It's a very slow rate, but it does work. Can't be picky. However, the entire point of today's episode was this. Infinity 1. Can I have 100? Yes. That's so good. We finally have it. And it's ready. That was fast. Alright, my fellow lords and ladies of darkness, now that we have the Infinity 1, what can we do? I actually think that's a very important milestone. There are so many things that we can do, but we do need to prioritize. This would be one of my top priorities, but I'm interested in something else. The ultimate solar panel and the ultimate miner. I have been checking the recipes for a very long time and I think we should be able to craft this thing. Well, not today, but we can get close. Until right now, the only problem that we had was the Infinity Ingot. Well, we got Infinity 1 and this is 6. So basically what you need to do is that you take the Infinity 1 and you put it inside a fluid encapsulator. You mix it with Blitz, Blizz, and Basalts, and you get Infinity 1 point something. And that is exactly what I have done over here at our machine area. So if I want to craft them, they should be relatively fast. It's a basic setup. If we mix them all together, that will be Infinity 2. If we drop them inside the Elven portal, we're going to get Infinity 3. I think it crafted 1. Okay, that's the second one, and it's done. Now, in order to convert it into Infinity 4, we need a tier 5 blood altar. And you might remember we have... What the hell is going on? Oops. Oh, yeah, I know. The filter was wrong. But it's okay, I can use some imbued slate. Anyways, our altar is tier 4. So that's one of the things that we have to fix, and we have other problems as well. If we want 100 of it, we're missing 60,000 draconium dust. So these are some of the things that we have to fix, and there could be way more. And I'm always hungry. It's Christmas, what do we eat which is Christmassy? This is why I love this mod. There are so many options. I don't find anything Christmassy. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. So I just added End's Delight and we're going to make some roasted dragon steak. Unfortunately for that we do need to do some hunting. Merry Christmas. We also need to do the bosses very soon. That's not a boss. That's a dungeon. I actually want those blocks. I do use it around the base. I did gather the crops and I'm gathering some dragon parts. Although I have to be very careful not to kill her. I'm gonna do this a few more times. And don't you dare tell me that I'm doing useless things. I'm getting some draconium. And some free dragon hearts. We have a few thousand. But who cares? My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, we have some purple Christmassy food. It's a bit big so I couldn't put it in the kitchen. But we have roasted dragon leg. It's yummy. I have also been working on the entrance to our base because we need way more structures behind it. But these are the altars, there's going to be a floor here and there's going to be another one up here and maybe a storage thingy over here in the tower. And you know, maybe a balcony to the draconic core. But since very soon I want to start removing these stupid huts, we need to transfer our Botania gizmos to here. And also I have to think of an elevator or something. But yeah, a wireless connection, a P2P tunnel just in case, and let's take some of the stuff. So I have made a few more machines, especially the mechanical daisy. Also, this machine is the only exception and we have to import the result. The rest will auto-output. And hopefully we can just cover it. Yeah, facades are nice. I do have to transfer them bit by bit because most of them have patterns. I have brought all the machines up here, we have our patterns, there are a few extra machines which I will explain. But the most important tip that I received in the comment section was regarding the greenhouse. Thank you, I love you. Merry Christmas. I will bury you with honors. So first things first, I have made some extra sparks. The malachite version. We shall put the greenhouse on top of the mana collector, that also receives a spark. And I think this one has to be recessive. There are a few upgrades that we can install inside the greenhouse to increase its productivity, but one of them is just amazing, mana storage. This is the final tier and it increases the mana storage by 1000 times. So for some reason we can hold 1 billion mana inside it. I don't know, it's like 1,000 of those mana batteries? But this mod is also incredibly buggy. You might notice this one doesn't have any mana, but if I order Elementium, it's updated so it has mana. Another thing that I have done is that I have 2 extra mana pools. One of them has the Conjuration Catalyst and the other one the Alchemy Catalyst. Makes it a bit faster. For example, if I want to dupe leaves, we just put it inside the Conjuration Catalyst. I don't think you can make a pattern for this. I did actually need that because for empowering stuff I need grass, I need leaves, and we don't have EMC yet. So there is one more machine that I want to make for today and that is the Mana Infuser. This guy that we have over here. I'm not going to set a pattern for it, we just need the one. So craft me everything. Thank you. Yeah, we just made so much garbage, it didn't even dent the buffer. Well, there is a dent, it's negligible. So there you go, basic Mana Infuser. Again, you're going to receive a spark and this time I think it has to be dominant. Doesn't really matter. But at least on a very positive note, now we can also make Alf Steel. So can you make me an extra one? Please? It does work, it's very slow. Oh, it's very slow. Well, what can you do? For now, this is fine. There are upgrades to every single machine, we have to get them anyways. Well, with our Botania setup relocated, there are 2 more projects that if we do manage to finish them today, I'm gonna be happy. So one of them, obviously, is to upgrade our Blood Altar to tier 5. Can I break you? I don't think I should have broken it. Because in that dimension we are done anyways, we need to go to the edge of the Hidden Realm. The Hidden Realm pathway? I don't remember. The only thing that I do remember is that we are going to need a brand new Ritual Diviner. So Demonic Slate, I made a few by accident. We need this one, which is Block of Coal. I did make Demonic by accident. Yeah, we have 8. We're good. There you go. Ritual Diviner Dusk. The previous one did consume all of my ritual stones and we don't get them back, so let's make a brand new one. This one has so many. Pathway to the Endless Realm. But before we go there, let's try to get some imbued slates. We have 202. You see, the problem is that I was trying to make some blank slates and then I forgot that this is a normal chest. So this got full and we also got more demonic slate and therefore, it just made the higher tier ones. But yeah, what we want to make is a few keys. Just in case we're in the dungeon and we run out of keys, it's better to have them. It doesn't consume that much will. I'll give you that. And we should even have more Tartaric gems, right? Not much. But that is a decent number of keys. We're going to have way more, don't you worry. So I'm out of Demonic Will, we have 25 keys. We also need our Activation Crystal. It does require 150,000 LP. And we're good. I was under the impression that it does require a bit more LP, so I added a few runes of the orb. But let us turn on night vision and go in. Over there. Hello. More keys? And more keys. Well, this one is a maze. And I have 2 swords. I enchanted my previous sword with Knowledge of the Ages. We get less garbage. And more XP. And that's one of the things that we're looking for. Hellforged Sam. What the? That was a trap. It didn't blow up. I think I have checked all the chests over here. Unless there's a sneaky one. Like that one. It's not a chest, but we can take it. I think we just go straight. Until we hit a dead end. Oh, saturated Tau fruit. Oh, we take it. And some Demon Will crystals. We're going to need 36 of these. Or we get lucky and find the mining room. Well, let me try to do some exploration. I'll be right back. There's nothing... Oh! I found it! So that gives us 3... We have Fortunate, so yeah. We got 7 this time. 18. We're doing fine. And there's a lot of it here anyways. Well, you guys know the drill. Let me try to find a bit more. I'll be right back. This room here has a lot of keys. I ran into one of those corridors which consumed like 7 keys. I replenished everything. Yeah, there's even more. And there's even more here. And there are so many zombies. Oh, another one. I think we're good. Remember, we need 72, we already have that. But just in case, we take more. Because I have 2 blood altars. That's the thing. Even though we have what we need, I decided to continue exploring and I found this tower. There are also hidden rooms and I never managed to find them. I just wanted to mention that's what I'm looking for. A hidden room or a key. There is no reason that we have to be successful, it's just that I'm searching for it. Well, actually, there is a reason. We can make reinforced runes. They're double efficient. The problem is that I'm also running out of keys. But thankfully I have found one of these rooms, so there should be plenty. So I just came back to the base because I don't really think I can do this. I think I do need to make the miner's key, and that requires a better Tartaric gem. So maybe I'm going to pursue that a bit later on. Because for the moment, we just want to upgrade our altar. And I am being an idiot. Yeah, it has to go on this corner. Therefore, the big question is, are you tier 5? Yes. Although the other one is also a very garbage altar, it's also a tier 4. We can upgrade it to 5. Then I will make the runes. Are you tier 5 as well? No? Yes. Cool, that went actually way more smoothly than I remembered. I'm actually happy with that. That was the first project. The second project is Oldemodium. So I did mention that in order to make the void miners, we are going to need Infinity 6, and in order to make that Infinity 6, we're going to need Oldemodium, Unobtainium, and Vibranium. So one of our resource miners is already giving me some Oldemodium. I have to fix my resource generation, but yeah, we have tons of Oldemodium. And I think it was the last episode where I did manage to find the smithing template. Let's dupe it a bit. I did dupe some smithing templates, however, one of the things that I forgot is that this is a netherite diamond pickaxe. So I had to make a brand new pickaxe, which is Oldemodium. And yes, you might notice we're looking for Vibranium. It's a bit rare. I mean, I have Fortune 8, that was my 4th ore. I think it's because of the biome mod, which changes the nether. Oh, that's 2. Okay, maybe it's not that rare. The problem is the Fortune. The last 2 only gave me 1. Oh, and yeah, a few episodes ago I did mention that I love the biome which changes everything, and everybody was replying to me that is a basalt delta. And yes, I do admit that was a basalt delta, but it was a different basalt delta. That mod makes subtle changes to the nether. That's why I liked it. I mean, just look at this. This is not vanilla. If you do fly around in the nether in this mod pack, you will notice a difference. Trust me. And besides, you don't really have to disagree with whatever I say. You should disagree with the important things that I say. Yeah, I think for the moment that's enough Vibranium. I also need a Bastion. Oh, target of opportunity. 3 of them. I'll go try to find a Bastion. Exactly, like that one. The only thing that I'm looking for over here is the Vibranium smithing template. Also, can we take this spawner home? I can get frog lights. I was beginning to lose hope. That's the one. We do have to put a block under it, otherwise it will drop. Give me my smithing template. Thank you. We got it. I think if you look hard enough there should be another one. Maybe not. Cause I remember in all the mods 10 I find like 4, 5. I don't remember. But since this is the all the mods mod, there should also be the telepath. What the? Okay, we do it from home. It's a shame that ore doubling doesn't really work that well. We just melt it. But I have made the telepad and we want to go to the other dimension. Oh, we're in stone. Yes. Actually, that is the entire reason that I'm here, because we need to dupe the smithing template and, well, I needed ancient stone. Okay, so I was just flying around, you know, exploring. There are so many blocks of raw ore. And there's also Vibranium. We got 1. I hate my luck. Oh, maybe I don't. Or maybe I do. Just a 5. Anywho, we have what we want. Let's go home. I just upgraded my pickaxe to Vibranium, I made some extra smithing templates, and now we're looking for Unobtainium. I have been digging here for endstone if you guys remember, and I remember seeing a lot. Oh, over here. But yeah, we got Unobtainium. We are going to automate every single of these resources later on, but I really want that ultimate miner. So we are going to need a decent amount. Besides, Unobtainium is much more common than Vibranium. Way more common. Oh, hi. You scared me. What is that? Mutant Enderman. I shouldn't have touched him. I think he's dead. And he's sucking me in. He just drops pearls. What would be the incentive of killing him? I think for the miner, we have a decent number. But I'll try to gather as much as I can and I'll see you back at the base. I just wanted to mention we have a decent supply of Oldemodium and I also found these. Budding Amethyst. I do have an amethyst seed, unfortunately that's garbage. So maybe this is going to be a way better thing to automate? Alright guys, now that I'm actually okay with unobtainium, vibranium and oldemodium in order to make the ultimate miner, what is the rest of the plan? Good question. I have to fix my ore processing, this is not working well. But before I get to that part, there is an earlier comment that I made in the video and I don't think I can cut it out. I was talking about the infinity ingots and I did mention that from tier 9, you start fresh. Apparently that's a bug. Because remember, the mod pack is now available again and there has been a huge update and apparently you have to make the 8 in order to make the 9. So my theory was wrong. In my defense, it was correct according to the JI. But getting back to ore processing, somebody mentioned a very important note. Actually, a few people mentioned it. I'm very grateful to you. 2 episodes ago, I mentioned that don't upgrade your netherite mesh into oldemodium. Because if you look at the uses, you can't enchant it and you can only upgrade it to vibranium, which also cannot be enchanted. You need it for infinity 11, but it can't be enchanted. So clearly, I was wrong. You can upgrade it to oldemodium if you have the nuggets. All of your enchantments are gone, which is fine, but if you make yourself a Fortune 8 book, you should be able to combine it inside an anvil. Yeah, now it can have Fortune 8. Oh, and by the way, I made an XP obelisk from Ender.io, and most of that experience actually comes from one furnace. Over here. This guy. Yeah, so for ore processing, let me think what I should do. I am going to go with these sieves. Cause yeah, there's a super multi-block sieve, but it has 2 problems. One of them is that yeah, it works every 0.5 seconds, which is great. But one drawback is that I can't have 1 stack of sand every 0.5 seconds. Or dust, or whatever. Obviously I can do that, it's just that it's not worth it. The other downside is that you can't put fortune on it. The reason that I'm mentioning the fortune part is that yeah, crushed endstone has a 40% chance to give you 1 stack of inferium. With the vibranium mesh, it's 60%, with fortune, it should be 100%. This is why I like this one, not the multi-block. Eventually I have to make it though, because I do have to sieve infinity 10 and this is not the best recipe. If you do it inside the multi-block sieve, it's a guarantee. So let me think what I should do. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, it has been a while later and you might notice I have cleaned up. Well, mostly cleaned up, if you ignore like 95% of the base. So our entire ore processing has now been transferred over here, which is titled ore processing. I should not get in like this. But yeah, you might notice that is our system for the moment, until we also get the miners. It's a bit of a weird system, but I do actually like it. And the rate that we are generating resources is actually quite nice. Also, what is your problem with lead? Do lead. Thank you. So where do I begin? Well, obviously the rock crushers are what we did yesterday morning. So from literally here to that side is everything else that I have added. I'm just going to go through it relatively fast. This is a creative Botania pot. Since we have the infinity 1 ingot, it's something that we could have crafted and it made me so happy. It works at 10 times the speed and it gives you 10 essence and it's double soul surge. Every single one of them. There's only 6 of them. It's not automated, I was lazy. But inside it we have 1 stone seed, 3 netherrack seeds, and I think 2 endstone seeds. Everything from the Botania pots comes inside this barrel, and yes, now that we have infinity 1, I made stack upgrade omega. It will say that it will increase the stack size by 30 million. I cannot comprehend that number. I'm sorry. But yeah, everything is coming into this barrel, we're voiding the extra seeds as well as the fertilizer. Every single essence goes inside this quantum crafter, we have a pattern, and obviously we're getting netherrack, blackstone as well as endstone. It's a bidirectional storage bus, so they go back into the barrel and we compact them. We get compressed block of blackstone, endstone and netherrack. I'm not using any multi-blocks, but I do have a few hammers. They take the compressed blackstone and give you 2 crushed compressed blackstones. Again, that goes into the barrel, the quantum crafter is going to unblock it and put it inside these drawers. I just realized it's making a noise. It's a music. Okay, I guess that's also a Christmassy thing. But yeah, that is how we're getting crushed endstone, netherrack and blackstone. As for gravel, sand and dust, what I have done is that I have added way more cobblestone generators that are soul surged. And we have the absolute overclocked crushing factory. So they just make everything super fast, put it inside the drawer, which is read by this storage controller. Another thing that you should know is that the blue cable represents our own main network, lime is a subnetwork, red is a subnetwork, blue is also a subnetwork here, and also this red. The red subnetwork is going to pick up everything from that storage drawer, as well as those ones, everything which has to be sieved, and put it inside these sieves. There are 6 sets of 4. Netherrack, endstone, blackstone, gravel, sand and dust. Not in that order. Every single sieve has a vibranium mesh which is fortune 8, so it's a bit ridiculous. I can even go faster, I can soul surge them. I have space. After we get all the resources, everything comes to another netherite barrel, we compact them, we void them, or we send them to our system, or process them. You know, we crush the resources, we smelt them. The ones from a mod whose name I shall not mention has to go inside the manufactory, otherwise everything would have been standard, and lovely and beautiful. It's not ideal, but I like the rates. I don't think we have to go crazier than that. The whole point of using sieves was that it gives you all the resources that you need. But remember, for extra resources, we still have the Rosarium miner over here. And in the past, since I was panicking, I also made an ore laser drill. It does give you a few things from a mod whose name I shall not mention, and I had to cut it out because I mentioned it. But you will never know, because I'm a jerk. So the problem is that those ores actually come to my kitchen. Somebody actually told me how to hide the pipes.
My lord. Bone appetite.
Thank you. Anyways, as I was saying, somebody mentioned to me how to remove and hide the cables. They were not supposed to be there. I was just meant to move them, but before doing that, we need a few things. Let us get some extra experience. Of course, we want fortune, and we want some annihilation planes. You already know what's going to happen. That's my first one. Interesting. So, since we have extra ores, we need to process them as well. I think that's the one which is coming in from the miners. That is true. You know, our main network is powering this network, that network is powering something else, and we are going to use that in order to power another network. Is it gonna be confusing? Definitely. But in order to make it a bit less confusing, we go with cyan. You know, I actually love this mod pack, so I'm not really nagging, but ores processing in this mod pack is not very standard. Also, don't even get me started on getting different ores, that's the worst. Just to let you know, if you have the ultimate miner, you're just gonna get vanilla ores from the overworld. If you put it in the end, yeah, you're going to get definitely a lot of goodies and apparently a lot of coal. If you put it in the nether, you're not going to get much. That is because if you want to mine in the nether and get some vibranium, you need a Rosarium miner, which is a tier lower. And any dimension that you put them in, you're just going to get the items from silent gear. So if you see me confused, that's the main reason. For example, if I want to get lithium from a mod whose name I shall not mention, I either have to sieve, or I was going to say I need to make a drill and I just realized the drill doesn't give it to you. This is why it's confusing. But yeah, for example, you get boron from a drill, or you get it from sieving. I just wish it was more standard. Otherwise, yeah, you just need drills in every single dimension, and you need a void miner in every single dimension. And you also need the seeds. But yeah, that section up here is for processing everything from the void miners as well as the drill. And the formation planes are just for processing things from thermal series. There is no other useful recipe which is fast. Maybe a pulverizer, but I suppose the annihilation plane with Fortune 8 is way better. And most of our traffic in the ore processing is just from items from silent gear, which does have a use, but probably not that much. I also have a few energy cells on this network because placing down and breaking the items is a bit power consuming. That's the reason. The final point that I wanted to mention is that a lot of you guys have been asking for graves, and yeah, I have added a grave mod. You know, it's very fitting, we have coffins. The problem is that it's raining. Somebody said I should put a celestial manipulator, but I think Teru Buzu, if it works, is faster. Because the celestial manipulator is just going to skip one day. But a lot of you guys have been asking for a graveyard, and yes, I really want to have a graveyard in this mod pack as well. The problem is the real estate. I can't bury you in the kitchen. Now that I have a rough shape for the base, maybe we can have a garden somewhere around here. It has to be also a few blocks deep, so yeah. But I will do that. I just wanted to mention it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.